question tags are mini questions that we often put at the end of sentences in spoken English. In question tags, we use an auxiliary verb, is, am, are, was, were, has, have, had, shall, should, etc., but never a main verb. Typically, we use a negative question tag, following a positive statement, while a positive question tag comes after a negative statement. Tag questions are used at the end of statements to ask for confirmation. The subject of the question tag is always a pronoun, never a noun. Let's look at an example of how to create a question tag. Rohan plays cricket. Rohan plays cricket, doesn't he? Main statement. In this sentence, the tag question doesn't he is formed based on the main clause. Rohan plays cricket. Step 2. Helping verb for the tag. Forming a tag question, we add an auxiliary or helping verb. In the sentence, Rohan plays cricket, the verb is plays. Remember, plays can be broken down into does along with play. That's why we use does as the auxiliary verb in the tag. Step 3. Negative form. The tag question is negative because the main statement is positive, so we use doesn't instead of does. Step 4. Pronoun for the tag. We use the pronoun corresponding to the subject Rohan, which is he. Thus, the tag is doesn't he. Concluding with a summary. In this sentence, the tag question doesn't he is formed based on the main clause, Rohan plays cricket. In forming a tag question, we add an auxiliary or helping verb. In the sentence Rohan plays cricket, the verb is plays. Remember, plays can be broken down into does plus play. That's why we use does as the helping verb in the tag. The tag question is negative because the main statement is positive, so we use doesn't instead of does. We use the pronoun corresponding to the subject Rohan, which is he. Thus, the tag is doesn't he. Case 1. After I am. The negative question tag is aren't I? Am I not? Is also grammatically correct, but it's more formal and less commonly used. Examples. I'm right, aren't I? I'm too impatient, aren't I? Case 2. Negative sentences with I am not. Examples. I am not a student, am I? I am not late, am I? I am not being too loud, am I? I am not supposed to be here, am I? Case 3. Negative words other than no and not. Tag question is positive. It includes words such as nothing, never, little, few, hardly, scarcely, barely, and seldom. The first one is nothing. I'm nothing short of a clerk, am I? Secondly, never. You never say what you're thinking, do you? The third item is hardly. It has hardly rained at all this winter, has it? Following that, little means not much. There is little I can do about it, is there? Next up, few means almost none. Few people attended the meeting, did they? The sixth item is barely means only just or almost not. She barely spoke during the meeting, did she? Finally, seldom means not frequently. They seldom go out for dinner, do they? Case 4. For imperatives that begin with let's, which is a suggestion or invitation. The question tag used is typically, shall we? Examples. Let's go for a walk, shall we? നമുക്ക് നടക്കാൻ പോകാം, അല്ലേ? Let's finish this project by tonight, shall we? ഇന്ന് രാത്രിയോടെ നമുക്ക് ഈ പ്രോജക്റ്റ് പൂർത്തിയാക്കാം, അല്ലേ? Let's have dinner together, shall we? നമുക്ക് ഒരുമിച്ച് അത്താഴം കഴിക്കാം, അല്ലേ? After let us, it signifies allow. And the question tag that follows is, will you? For example, let us go out to play, sir. Will you? ഞങ്ങൾ കളിക്കാൻ പൊക്കോട്ടെ, sir. Common tags for imperatives. Will you? Standard, neutral. Won't you? Polite. Can you? Polite request. Here are examples. Close the door, will you? Explanation. A request for someone to close the door with a neutral tone. Pass me the salt, won't you? Explanation. A polite request for someone to pass the salt with a more courteous tone. Help me with this, can you? Explanation. A polite way to ask for help using can to soften the request. Case 8. For imperatives that begin with don't. Negative commands. The typical question tag is will you. This is because you're giving a command and asking for confirmation or compliance. Here are the examples. The first one is, don't make noise, will you? Explanation. A command asking someone not to make noise with will you seeking confirmation. Secondly, don't be late, will you? Explanation. A request for someone not to be late with a neutral tone. Finally, don't forget to call me, will you? Explanation. A reminder for someone to call with will you, added for politeness. Case 9. We use it in question tags to refer to nothing and everything. For nothing, use a positive question tag, is it? For everything, use a negative question tag, isn't it? For instance, nothing is impossible, is it? Explanation. Since nothing is negative, the positive tag, is it, is used. Everything is fine, isn't it? Explanation. Since everything is positive, the negative tag, isn't it, is used.